month of October, everybody. Prabhupada says in Krishna consciousness, every day is like a new year. At least we have a new month. My step counter counted during the Padayatra something like 270 kilometers in Slovenia. But last month was not that many. No Padayatra, only 210 or 20. Something like this. So in the Holy Dhamma it says every step is like many Ashwamedha yagas. So Padayatra, if you make steps on book distribution or Harinam or singing or to the temple, oh yes, Skanda Purana says, as you come to the Bhagavatam reading, one step, let's see how many steps he made. One step is like thousands and thousands of Ashwamedha yagas. Ashwamedha yagas. 100 is enough to make you Indra. So be careful. Hare Krishna. Here, I think the closer, the bigger is the quotient, is the higher is the effect, I guess. Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari, Jayo Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradari, Yasodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana, Yasodanandana Braja Ranjana, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jamuna Tira Vanachari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari, Jayo Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Jai Om Vishnupat Paramahamsa Parivraj Kacharya Stutra Sata Sri Srimati Radhani Goswami Abhay Charanaravinda Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grandhara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Nitai Gopramanande. All glories to the assembled devotees. Jai Shri Guru Garanga Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. We have quite a few verses without purports. So the first purport is verse 19. Verse 19. So I'll just probably read the other verses, and then we will chant verse 19, the one with the purport. Yeah? Okay, so verse 16, I'll just chant myself. Shishuko vacha evam virincha dibiriritastam vigyayatesham hridayam yathaiva jagada jimuta gabhiraya gira bandhanjalin samvrita sarvakarakam. Shukadeva Goswami continued. When the Lord was thus offered prayers by the demigods, headed by Lord Brahma, he understood the purpose for which they had approached him. Therefore, in a deep voice that resembled the rumbling of clouds, the Lord replied to the demigods, who all stood there attentively with folded hands. 17. Eka eveshvarastasmin surakarye sureshvara vihartu kamastan aha samudrun madhanadibi. Although the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the Master of the demigods, was able of performing the activities of the demigods by himself, he wanted to enjoy pastimes in churning the ocean. Therefore, he spoke as follows. 18. Shri Bhagavanu Vacha Hanta Brahmana Ho Shambho He Deva Mama Bhashitam Shrinuta Vahita Sarve Shreyo Vasyad Yadhasura. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, O Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, and other demigods, please hear me with great attention, for what I say will bring good fortune for all of you. Shreya, the best. And 19. Let us chant together. Yata danava daityeyais tavat sandir vidiyatam kalena grihitaistar yavadvo bhava atmana yatadanava daityeyais tavat sandir vidiyatam kalena nugrihitaistar yavadvo bhava atmana yatadanava daityeyais tavat sandir vidiyatam kalena nugrihitaistar Yavadvo bhava atmanaha. Yatadanavadaiti yas. Tavat sandhir vidhiyatam. Kalena nugrihitaistair. Yavadvo bhava atmanaha. Yatadanavadaiti yas. Yavat sandhir vidhiyatam. Kalenanu grihitaistair. Atmanaha. Ladies, please. Yatadanavadaite yas. Vidhiyatam. Kalenanu grihitaistai. Yavadvo atmanaha. Yata. Just execute. Danava. With the demons. Daityayai. And the asuras. Basically, you can see these are they are mother names. Danava means Danus children, and Daityai, Daityas are deities' children. Tavad, so long. Sandhi, a truce. Vidhiyatam, execute. Kalena, by a favorable time. Or kavyena, by Shukracharya. Anugrihitai, receiving benedictions. Tai, with them. Yavad, as long as. Vaha, of you. Bhava, good fortune. Atmanaha, of yourselves. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras, who are now being favored by time. A short purport. One word in this verse has two readings, kalena and kavyena. Kalena means favored by time, and kavyena means favored by Shukracharya. Kavi is mentioned under this name also in the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 10. Shukracharya being the spiritual master of the Daityas. The demons and Daityas were favored in both ways, and therefore the demigods were advised by the Supreme Lord to execute a truce for the time being until time favored them. Yadadanava Daityas tavat sandir vidiyatam kalena nugrihitaistair yavadno bhava admanaha vo bhava admanaha. As long as you are not flourishing, you should make a truce with the demons and asuras who are now being favored by time. Om Agyanatimirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurminitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vancha Kalpatarubhishya Kripa Sindhuvya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Chaitanya Padamboja Madhupebhyo Namo Namaha Katanchida Shayad Yesham Shvapitat Ganda Bhagavavet. My respectful obeisances again and again unto all the Vaishnava devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are like the honeybees drinking honey from the lotus of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's feet. Because even a dog taking Prabhupada says, dog-like non-devotee, taking shelter of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's followers will also get that honey. Yasya prasadadagyopi sadhyak sarvagyadam rajatsa Sri Chaitanya devame bhagavan samprasidatu. May Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, be fully merciful unto me. By His grace, a complete fool can get all knowledge in one moment. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. This is one of the most famous and most important stories in the Puranas. Practically all the Puranas describe it. Samudra Mantana, it's mentioned here, churning of the milk ocean. And we have a list of very important jewels produced, ratnas, produced from this churning. I can even read you a list from the Encyclopedia Britannica, which carefully lists the 14 jewels or ratnas or wonders produced from this Samudra Manthan. But maybe you remember some of them. You're all walking Shastra, theoretically, so at least a few you should remember. A good horse, yes, a good horse. Uchai Shrava, yes. Airavata, a special elephant. Kamadenu, yes, Kamadenu, one special cow, yes. Goddess Lakshmi! Kijai, it's coming in just a few verses in 888, Canto 8, chapter 8, verse 8, because 8 is Lakshmi's number. She appears. Yes. Lakshmi, yes. Okay, some other? Huh? That's there, but not a jewel, yes. We can say that it gives glory to Shiva, he becomes Nilakanta, but it's not listed as the good things, yeah? Okay, so something else? Weapons or devices. Yeah, okay, sounds like a useful thing, but actually, yes, number 10, Panchajanya, Vishnu's conch, and Vishnu's magic mace, club. Okay, weapons, yes, all right. Something else? Nectar, exactly. Nectar brought by the founder of Ayurveda, Dhanvantari. Yes, Dhanvantari. And it's very interesting how Dhanvantari, an incarnation of Krishna, was defeated by the demons. Demons just came and took away the pot. And he didn't, like punch them in the nose or do some, special acrobatic kung fu movements to avoid being attacked. No, he just, okay, you take. But he came in another, yes, okay. All right, so a few were not mentioned. So number 1, interestingly enough, it mentions Chandra, the moon. I hope nobody asks the question, what did we have in the sky before? Yeah. Parijata. So Parijata was, it's a famous special tree taken by Indra, super fragrant, super powerful. And then Krishna gave one flower to Rukmini and one whole tree to Satyabhama, yes. Okay, then Airavata, the 4-tusked elephant Airavata, Indra's mount. It looks like Indra rides a big SUV or pickup truck. And Chaishava was given to Bali Maharaj, it's like a Ferrari or something, yes? Two styles, one like a Cadillac Escalade to, or whatever, Chevy Suburban or whatever you, two different styles. Okay, Kamadhenu, the cow of plenty, given to the sages. And then Madira, the goddess of wine, who became Varuni. Okay, was given to the demons. Kalpavriksha, the wish-fulfilling tree. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha. So that's taken from this Ratna. Then 7, the Apsaras, celestial dancers, Hare Krishna, who chose as their partners whom? Ha ha ha. Nobody will guess. Really? He knows. How come you know so well? Yes, celestial dancers chose the celestial singers. A good match. 8, the celestial horse Uchchaishrava. 9, the goddess Lakshmi, who chose Vishnu. She checks everybody and she says, him, not pious. Him, no knowledge. Him, knowledge, no kindness. This one, kind but useless. This one. So she checks everybody and then, okay, Vishnu is the only one. Also has one fault, but that's a separate topic. Panchajanya Vishnu's conch, then Vishnu's magic weapons, like club. 12 various gems. There are Navaratna, another, so Padma, Nila, Maharaga, some mysterious magic jewels, which only the list I can find, but no description in detail how each of them works, what each of them does, but something interesting. And 13 and 14, so 14 Ratnas, so Encyclopedia Britannica says, Dhanvantari, the physician of the gods, who rose up out of the waters, carrying in his hands the supreme treasure, the Amrita, which is why the demigods are engaging in this very, very heavy undertaking, which is so heavy that even they die at one point, many of them, out of exertion. And then Vishnu just says, and then he looks at them and, okay, they come back to life. With his glance, he brings them back to life. So this is a very famous, you can see that so many facets and aspects of the universe existence is connected to this story. Lakshmi, Uchchaishrava and Airavata. Every time Indra goes somewhere, we hear the mention of his ride, Airavata, and how he fights with Airavata. Okay, then Dhanvantari. Yes, second canto, other cantos say that just saying the name Dhanvantari, just saying Dhanvantari ki jai, you get cured of disease. Wow. Maybe not every disease, but let's say that it says that even his glory is very powerful. Dhanvantari. Of course, the Amrita, this is such an important aspect of heavenly life that they can drink Amrita. So this here is produced Varuni, then who also is one of the wives of Balaram, yes, one of the wives of Balaram. Sometimes you can see, like in Vrindavan, there is one small, beautiful temple on a corner. As you go from Banki Bihari to Loy Bazar, you turn on the Bankandi street, Mahadev, and then on the corner there is this Balaram. Anybody knows, remembers? So there's a beautiful temple, Balaram stands, and he has a cup. So it looks like he stands alone, but he has a cup, and that's an expansion in the cup. What do you have? You have the Varuni drink. So it's an expansion of Varuni. So Varuni, what else? Kamadhenu, yes, so such a big important part of the history. Vasishta has Kamadhenu, yeah, the whole war. That's why Vishwamitra spits on his royal position and wants to become a sage too. Because what's the point? I am a king and I don't have such wealth like Kamadhenu. So that's interestingly enough for the sages. Yeah. So if you feel more attracted to the position of a sage, you can see that they are given the Kamadhenu. So it sounds like a good idea. Obviously, Kamadhenu produces everything. So that's such a big important story. So here, what could have happened? What could have happened? It says that Vishnu doesn't have to engage in any lila. He can just snap his fingers. He can just say hum or om or something, and then he says hum, demon fall. He says om, and demigods are happy, and that's it. But that would be a little boring afterwards. Before, maybe the demigods would be inclined to agree. And plus, you can see that he gets Lakshmi, who is his eternal consort. So she is born from that Samudra Manthan. So almost every Purana mentions this. We even have like the Dashavatara. Dashavatara also is mentioned in the Padma Purana, is connected to the same story, because when Lakshmi marries Lakshmi marries Vishnu, then Bhrigu is taken as her foster parent, and he promises to give her with her some city, and he doesn't give, and then they discuss, how about that city that you promised, Bhrigu-ji? And Bhrigu-ji says, no, why? And then Vishnu comes and he says, look, my wife says you said you will give the city, this nice city, and you didn't give. So then they discuss, and there is a quarrel, there is some misunderstanding, and then Bhrigu curses Vishnu to be born 10 times. So that's the in the like lower levels of this universe. So that's the one place where 10 avatars are mentioned, because in other places you see 23, 24, 27 avatars, different numbers of avatars are mentioned, but this is the story that mentions 10 avatars. And Krishna says, yes, sir, okay, we'll do that. And you can see that Krishna is using negative for positive. Krishna says, energy is energy, and he's just using it. Yeah. So Bhrigu is cursing him, you take birth 10 times, as among humans, even lower. And Krishna says, okay, thank you. There's some work, so you added the energy of your curse. Okay, good, we'll use it. We'll use your energy of your curse, and we'll come. I had to come anyway, but now you have provided a channel that you have invested so much of your energy into this. Just as after the Kurukshetra, Gandhari was angry at Krishna. When they were returning, 100 sons are dead. And it's not that she was against Krishna or devotees or the Pandavas, but still, 100 sons are 100 sons, 100 sons. So she felt a little angry. So then after the war, she looked at Krishna and she said, Krishna, Krishna, I know who you are, it's been arranged by you. So just as you have arranged and orchestrated the mutual destruction of my dynasty, so I'm cursing that your dynasty will mutually self-destruct. They will attack each other, the Yadus, the Yadavas. Sounds horrible, right? Very bad. What does Krishna say? He says, oh, auntie, thank you so much, because I was wondering, how will I remove the Yadus from this earth? They will not die out of old age. They will not die out of disease. They will not be conquered by anybody. And they are super powerful, and power oftentimes brings pride, and then, they have to go back, and how will I bring them back? And you have provided such an elegant solution. And you have invested so much power of your austerity into this curse. The whole life you were walking voluntarily blind. Cultivating, not out of anger, but cultivating faithful loyalty to your husband. And you have invested all this power into this curse, and now, oh yeah, true, they can just attack each other. Yeah, that's a good idea. they will get drunk, or it will look like they got drunk, and it will look like they attack each other. Yeah, that will work. So thank you for. So Krishna is saying thank you. Or there is another super famous story that counteracts all the Brahminical curses you might have from before. If you have any planet in your chart that's aspected by two malefic, cruel planets, it's considered it's a curse, and there are different curses. If this is Jupiter, or I think Shukra, no, Jupiter, then it's a Brahminical curse from the past life. Hare Krishna. I mean, it's one of the astrological minor points. So many people have it. Nothing. It's not very rare. So then we have one story that purifies you from all the Brahminical curses, and this is the story of. You don't know? You must know. I mean, it sounds like a useful story to know. I'm sure you know. When I start telling you, I'll say, oh yeah, that one. Who? Daksha is a good story. Actually, it's much closer. No, closer. Lord Chaitanya? Yes, yeah. There was a Brahmana who wanted to come to the exclusive, how is it called? The special party, invitation only. How do you call these parties? VIP party, something like by invitation only, yeah? Where before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu started the Harinama Sankirtan Yuga Dharma movement, he was singing Hare Krishna kirtans in Shivas Thakur's house behind the closed doors. Hare Krishna. So people could hear there is some wild party going on. And it sounds like they have real fun. And many wanted to, participate, or at least check out what's going on. I mean, if you have some, like you're neighbors with somebody, and then there is some party, not like in a big city, like, let's say, in a village or a small city, neighbors know neighbors, yeah? Just being neighbors is enough. Like yesterday, my mother, I called my parents' door. They had to go to, they went to the hospital, and they are old. Walking is a little far, and so taxi was taking a long time. And then there was some guy riding the car, and he said, "Sit, I will drive you." It's like maybe 3 kilometers. So he drove them, and he called. No, I'm on the phone. I'm busy. I'll come after 5 minutes. I'm driving somebody. So they wanted to give him money. He says, "No, I'm your neighbor." They say, "Really? You're not? Where do you live?" "Oh, I'm living in house number 10. "Really? We don't? Some new neighbor. But, okay, same street. This is number this, and this is number 18. This is number 10. So neighbors. Okay, so he's, neighbors are neighbors. So the Brahmana thought, okay, I'm a neighbor, so why not? And he's trying, and they don't let him. Because this was before the Yuga Dharma was fully launched. It was just the alpha version, the testing version for really investigating all the nectars and ecstasies of the kirtan for Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And they didn't let him in. And he was very angry. He was so angry that what did he say? He cursed Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. May you never, what? Material happiness. May you never experience the material happiness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Oh, thank you." Oh, I was wondering, it's a dangerous place, material world. I will have to work to be detached. But thank you. You are adding your energy to my path. Oh, thank you. Yes, very, very kind of you. And Krishnas Kaviraj Goswami says that anybody who listens about this event will become free from all Brahminical curses. Hare Krishna. Congratulations! Already a question. We haven't even started. Well, we started. But so many important things are coming from this story, and you can see that nobody wants to do this except Vishnu. Vishnu wants to do this. Demigods don't want to do this, and the demons don't want to do this, because the demons have won. They are victorious. Why should they do it? And the demigods, why should we cooperate with our enemies? That's tomorrow's verse. Enemies, araya. Cooperate with our enemies. Why should we cooperate with our enemies? Nobody wants to do this. Only Vishnu says, no, you please do like this. What? You mean like what? Like with the demons? Yes, with the demons. You churn the ocean. They've thrown all the herbs into the ocean. Anyway, it was under an expert guidance of Vishnu, and they did it. At every step, he was adjusting. And so, if they didn't do, what would we do? It seems that Chandra would not be present in the form we know. Lakshmi, everybody wants Lakshmi's blessings in this world. And even devotees want the blessings of Lakshmi, not in the material external sense, but in the sense of devotion. She's the mother of the universe, considered the mother of the universe. And so many stories would not have the attributes and the participants. So you can see Vishnu meets Lakshmi, Balaram will marry Varuni, and so many important personalities and things are coming from this story, from this unlikely union, unlikely alliance, very unlikely alliance. So he will explain what to do. He's in tomorrow's verse, he is using some Rajasic reasons. Here he's using some Sattvic reasons. He's saying that, look, time is not favorable to you. Whatever, if you fight, you lose. Nothing will work. Whereas the demons, they are doubly blessed, they are doubly favored. It's their time. From time to time, 10% of the time, it's their time. They are lucky, everything goes for them. And they are blessed, so that's the internal blessing. And the external blessing is that Shukracharya, they please Shukracharya, the great Kavi, the great expert scholar, and he's giving them both generic mystical blessings, just good fortune, and specific technical blessings like the mantras to revive the dead, for example. So they are doubly blessed. So therefore, if you just fight with them, what will happen? You get nothing. Whereas they don't even have to strike an alliance with you, but if you strike an alliance with them, then you will get everything. And tomorrow he will use some Rajasic, if not even Tamasic reasons, that they stay tuned, or tune in tomorrow. We have the logic of the snake and the mouse, Hare Krishna, but that stays for tomorrow's episode of our drama. So he's using different arguments to convince the demons demigods to be allied with the demons. So it has so many different also applications, this story. It's a real story, it actually happens, but you can see that it captures our interest. When you hear about it, somehow it's very interesting. So if something captures such a strong interest, usually it means that it strikes some chord inside. It means that something in my internal microcosm, in my internal world, is matching what I hear. That's why sometimes an author, a writer, some author may write something, and he doesn't even understand what he's doing, but he is able to capture some big drama that corresponds to what's happening inside our hearts too. So this is this particular story. This is a very important story. So we have something that in the West, in the modern days, is called embracing your shadow. Yes. And then, meaning that we have some. It's like the brother in your family whom you never mention. You know, he became a drunkard, a thief, and then he's in prison. So. When you speak of him, you say, yeah, we have this, he's a doctor, this one, he's a journalist, and yeah. And that one you don't talk about. This one we don't speak about. The one in prison we don't discuss. We don't want to talk about it. But there are even the whole therapy is based on not denying any the black sheep of the family or any relatives, even if they do not behave very nicely. And in the same way, in our inside, we have these dark shadows that I don't even admit to myself. Forget others. And, you know, lying to others is bad. It's bad. But lying to myself is much, much worse. Is much, much worse. So this is the single maybe contribution that Sigmund Freud made, as he is called by Richard Bandler, Sigmund Freud. Sigmund Freud. It's not invented by me. It's invented by another psychologist who doesn't like him. But Prabhupada said, no, he's right. Prabhupada, discussing him, he says, yeah, he's right. In that, devotees say he is a fool. Prabhupada said, no, what he says is correct. It is a big force. So, based on, he's discovering how we are unable to control our own mind, and we don't even know our mind. We don't even know our mind, what's inside. Recently, I read something striking. One guy says that he's some technical director. He says, nowadays it's especially important. It's always important, but he says, nowadays it's especially important that you understand yourself. That you understand yourself. Because whether you understand, you may not understand yourself, but the Facebook, the Google, the YouTube, they understand you very well. So you must understand at least as well or better. Otherwise, they will manipulate you. Or whatever you are using, you know, whichever. So because, you know, there are buttons and strings that are easily pulled and pushed. And, you know, so much political advertisement nowadays is targeted, like in 2016 election in the US, they had 40,000 profiles, psychological profiles, and they had a different advertisement or targeted message for different groups. 40,000 psychological profiles. So they knew you very well. If you don't know your buttons, then you're played like a machine, like a fiddle. Or in Ukraine, it was, you know, not as high tech as the US, so they made, I think, only 1,000 profiles on Facebook, 1,000 psychological profiles, and specific. Young people one message, old people another message. This type of, you know, progressives this message, conservatives another message, and, you know, the guy was elected. So they say it's much more important to, especially nowadays, that you that you know yourself. So we have some things that we don't even accept about ourselves. You know, like who is angry? I am angry. I am not angry. I am very peaceful. I'm not angry. Don't say I'm angry. I'm super peaceful. Who is cruel? I'm cruel. I'm not cruel. I'm the kindest person in the world. Show me anybody who is kinder than me. If you show me somebody kinder, I'll just kill him, and again I'll be the kindest person in the world. Easy. So this is, you know, Purnachandra Maharaj, in his book, he raises these hidden obstacles on the path of devotion. He raises this question that Sometimes they say, aren't you devotees repressing desires? You're repressing desires. As Grandpa Freud was warning us, that you are hiding, you are cheating yourself. Even Krishna says, mityachara, you're a cheat if you pretend you are one thing and inside you want other things. Even Krishna says, yeah? 3rd chapter, verse, whatever it is, 6, I think. Mityachara sauchita. So Purnachandra Maharaj says, no, you be careful with your terms, because there are two things. There is repression and there is suppression. So repression means if you say, who is lusty? I'm lusty? No, I'm not lusty. Like Markata Vairagya, monkey renunciation. If you carry a big stick and walk on the street, and then you look at the monkeys look so detached. They look like, no, you have banana, no, beach bananas. No, I don't want anybody. Oh. Have you seen this? They look so detached. Like, oh, it's the last thing in the world. I mean, I'm totally disinterested. But then you turn away for a second and, ha! So that's Marakata Vairagya. So repression means if I say, no, I don't have it, I don't have these desires. Repression means cheating ourselves. Whereas Purnachandra Maharaj says that devotees do not repress, they suppress. There are some desires which we want to discipline and control, rein in. You know this expression, rein in? Like a horse, you rein in. And Krishna warns that you do not let him go. How is it called? Give him the head. Let him go. And do not pull too harsh. I was riding Haridas in Podslivnica, and he was always biting the back of Amar, 2 horses. And I thought, it's not nice. He's always going and biting the front horse at this part, And I thought, I shouldn't let him. So I was pulling and pulling. So I pulled and pulled and pulled and pulled every time. So then Haridas thought, who are you? Get lost. And he threw me off. I should have let him bite at least twice, Out of 10 times, if I let him bite the buttocks of Amar one time, maybe he would let me ride. And I didn't let him bite even once. So he threw me off. Carefully, he's a devotee horse. Carefully, he didn't, hurt me. Just, like, threw me. Like Krishna says. So yeah, we try to rein in some desires, but Purnachandra Maharaj writes that devotees are almost painfully aware of every and each desire. You're not denying. You have these desires. You're fully aware of these desires. And you're dealing with them. You're not lying to yourself. You're consciously working on some qualities and urges, 6 urges and so forth, and if you're not conscious, then, Shastra even says, okay, there are these 6 urges, there is that, there is this, you work on them. So it's a different game. It's a completely different game. It's not repression, where you cheat yourself. It's a suppression, where you try to rein them in. And when you properly rein them in, this is the whole idea of the Varnashram, that then they become a positive power. They just give energy. Just like here we see that demigods work with the demons and they churn the ocean and produce 14 jewels using the power of the demons. Yes, demons are powerful. Even the sun, every month, there are some Naga, Yaksha and Raksha. Yaksha Naga is connecting, and Rakshasa is pushing. They have some negative characters on the face of it, lending some strength to push, and they rotate. Every month they rotate. You can read in Canto 12 about these personalities. In the same way, inside our heart, inside our mind, there are so many powers. If I deny it, it's like cutting off half of myself, saying, no, I don't have it. I don't have it, and it's awkward. It's like, how are you going to work? Whereas if you accept, yes, I have anger, I have lust, I have pride. Okay, maybe not so much pride. Did you notice I'm not very proud, right? Anyway, if I accept I have pride, I can joke about it, yes? I can joke about it, and I can, okay, I have pride, so what? Sorry, I can apologize, yes? And then I can do something about it, right? And if somebody says, oh, Prabhu, you're too proud, then I can say, where did you see I'm proud? Which moment should I should I make it more elegant? Or more aesthetically pleasing? I can use the power, I can use this in some constructive way. So this story has many lessons, and this is one very subtle lesson of joining forces or using all the forces that nature has. That's why this story always captures everybody's imagination, and that's why this story is in every Purana, and that's why we have so much description of this story. There is fighting before, there is fighting after, but there is a cooperation too. And ultimately, anyway, it's a complicated story. Obviously you can see whose side Vishnu is on, and who will ultimately win. And who do we serve? We serve Vishnu. We serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, as he describes, using all we have. And primarily how? By chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Okay, questions or comments or some points? Yes?
So this blessing story, I was just thinking maybe it also happens the same with us, that it's not that this curse is diminished or it's gone or something, but it's just that we see it differently.
That this blessing story, that it doesn't mean that the curse disappears, but we use it in a positive way. Maybe. Or, yes. At any rate, I understand that it does not impede your spiritual life. I think this is the main part. That we may have different handicaps. They're called defects. Yeah? But a handicap is the precise notion. Some from for the last 3 lives maybe I've had this same feature. And if I just deny it, then it's unproductive. But if I work with it for serving Krishna, then it's no longer a handicap. You can serve Krishna in whatever condition you're in.
I don't agree with your judgment of Freud, but you know that.
Which I didn't make judgment.
But I think he was a genius. I mean, you are citing this psychologist. Nobody knows him, from.
But well, he's the inventor of NLP.
Yeah, but nobody acknowledges this method in psychology now.
Everybody's using it.
Huh?
Everybody's using
really?
it. All advertisement, all political propaganda is NLP.
Okay.
But maybe they want to keep it secret or what. But I quoted Prabhupada, that Prabhupada said he was right. I did quote Prabhupada.
Yeah.
And I did give him credit that he brought back into the Western world In India, let's say, in yoga, it's a known fact that we have the subconscious, unconscious mind, the subtle body. But in the West, it was denied that we have my mind, which can cheat me, or I can, that I can not know something about myself. What do you mean? We are rational people. So he has debunked this naive, materialistic idea about our mind. So this is his credit. Yes. So still, what's your?
Yeah, but it's. Maybe some other time.
Okay. Sri Devi, you have something?
First, I want to say thank you for such an interesting class with so many points to really reflect. And can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Maybe the battery.
The battery is weak, huh?
I don't know. Does it burn green or red? Ah, battery is down.
So it's not working, right? Yeah, there are so many points. You took us on such an interesting path with so many different. It was like a walk in the park, and at every point there was something new to admire. So I really like the way you presented it because it's going to play on my mind, and I'm going to be
Thank you.
thinking about the different points.
Thank you.
So thank you very much. I really like what you said. Krishna uses negative for positive.
Mm-hmm.
So in our lives also, that when negative things happen, we can think of it as a negative, or we can think, how can I use this to go forward in my Krishna consciousness? Because Krishna is arranging this for my purification. So we can take that example and use it to get better, not bitter.
But get better, not bitter. So we can use everything Krishna gives to get better, not bitter. Okay,
Right.
that's.
Yeah, so I got a nice point of
Thank you. Thank you.
The second thing which was remarkable about what you said is how the inner work needs to be done. We have dark places in our heart which we don't want to look at. We pretend it's not there, but it's there. And unless we do that Cheto Darpana Marjanam, which means going even into those dark rooms which we have kept locked up, and there's dusty furniture and we don't want to clean it. But that is the most important place to go to. In fact, if we start cleaning up over there, it's actually going to get easier. So I just wanted to thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Yeah, so we need to clean even the dark corners in our heart. And usually when devotees apply themselves, there are some unpleasant revelations about our heart, at least twice. Now, in the last, 20, 30 years, it's become popular to quote a Christian term, the dark night of the soul, from St. John of the Cross. And there he mentions two kinds of nights, but we have Bhagavatam also, 4:29-69, saying that just like during a moon eclipse, you don't see the moon so well, but you finally see the Rahu for the first time, very clearly. So in the same way, Krishna reveals to a practitioner everything that's in our heart collected for many lifetimes, and thus you can clear your karma with one stroke, collected karma. So it sounds like yes, but then when it happens, you feel, oh! and you are tortured, not even so much by what happens, but that there is such garbage